Erenstoft. This is Detective Conaughty. I like to say it that way. It's actually pronounced
Conaughty,
but I like Conaughty. You can pronounce it any way you like. We're here to talk to you about a very important topic, and it is, anybody? Bullying. Very good. Along with the statistics that were in the video, did you know that there are 250,000 reported incidents a month for bullying? 250,000 reports. Bullying is an important topic. We really want to just kind of jump in. What are some types of bullying? Well, there's physical bullying. Obviously, physical bullying is something you can see. It can be hitting, kicking, shoving, tripping, or spitting. It can be taunting, teasing, using racial slurs, verbal harassment, threatening, obscene gestures, stealing or hiding someone's belongings, like a backpack or something like that. Has anybody ever been a victim of physical bullying? I have. I'm going to raise my hand and just tell you I have. Okay.
we have emotional bullying too. It's difficult. It's a lot more difficult to detect rather than physical bullying, because this you can't really see that well. It can be getting another person to bully someone for you. Be deliberately excluding someone from a group or activity, and name calling and insults. Sometimes it can be intimidation through gestures, spreading rumors, graffiti, making others feel left out. Has anybody been emotionally bullied before? Probably all of us at some point in time, right?
Well, what are some things you can do? I mean, if you're being bullied? Well, you could tell a school counselor, school guidance counselor. You can tell your principal, tell your teacher. If your school has a resource officer, this one doesn't, we have many officers that come through here on a regular basis. You can stop them and tell them. Any police officer, an attorney, whether a school attorney or a private attorney, a superintendent, these are people who could be involved when a case of bullying occurs. Even an internet service provider. Who here has Facebook? You're way too young.
No, I don't.
All right. Who has Facebook? Okay. Who does Instagram? Who does all these? Okay. Cool. There are all types of social media out there where we use to connect with one another, but they also can be involved. For example, when I talk about, if you see something, you can basically tell Facebook, hey, I don't like this, or this is obscene, or it offends me. You know that the school has policies against bullying, and there are also criminal ramifications for bullying.
Some of those criminal issues are the following kinds of speech can lead to arrest and prosecution: making threats of violence to people or their property, making obscene or harassing phone calls, harassment or stalking, hate or bias crimes. Hate can be against if you're a male or female, or the color of your skin, or even which church you go to and religion you belong to. Creating or sending sexually explicit messages of teens or other children. Taking a photo of someone in a place where privacy is expected, such as the bathroom or locker room. Excessive intimidation. Children who bully are more likely to start or join in physical fights. Do you know, no names, okay, but do you guys know someone that really likes to start fights all the time? Yeah, there's always that one, right? Get involved in harmful events. They usually become injured in a fight because they're fighting a lot more, so they're going to become injured in them. They may carry a weapon in order to scare others. They might skip school or even get arrested.
What are some of the consequences for a victim who is being bullied? Well, I want to kind of give you a physical example of some of the effects that bullying has on people who are victims of bullying. Let's say that you're a victim of being bullied. How many here like it when people call them names? Nobody wants to be called names, right? Anybody here like it when they're being made fun of? Generally not, right? It hurts, doesn't it? when somebody makes fun of you, and let's say they don't like something about you, or maybe they're jealous of you and they want to intimidate you, they say hurtful things. Like, maybe, look at her hair today. How ugly is her hair? That's disgusting. And it hurts. And sometimes it's like somebody taking a nail and hammering it in. Hurts. And then maybe somebody will come along and they'll say something else like, oh, you see, he doesn't even match today. What a dork. Or, that person is so ugly. Or maybe they go on and they say some other things and it starts to hurt a little bit more. And maybe the nails, they get a little bit bigger. Like, wow, they don't have any money. I don't want to be friends with them. Or, they got a lot of money. I bet they're hoity-toity. I don't, they're so up of themselves. And then it just kind of persists. It continues to go on, and the nails, they get a little bigger maybe, a little thicker, and they start to hurt a little more. I don't want to hang out with that person. Ew, I don't know why anybody would want to hang out with that person. And then they get really, really big.
It's a nail.
And things, they start to build up so much, they start to really, really hurt. And it starts to get really physical. Like, it's just so, the hurt is so big. Anybody ever felt like that? Like the nails, when people say things about you, or they talk about you and it hurts, right? Anybody here? I'm raising my hand for me because I know it does. When people say things about you, say things to you that are hurtful, it kind of feels like this sometimes. And people can apologize. They can come back and they can say, you know, I'm sorry. And they can start to remove the nails. I didn't mean to say it. I was being immature. I'm sorry. Will you forgive me? We'll be friends. But even though we apologize and we say sorry, what's left? Holes, right? The holes are still there. Even though we apologize and we try to remove those nails that we've nailed into people we know, maybe friends at one point, it still leaves holes. And a lot of times, early on, these little things, maybe they don't show, maybe it doesn't show how you feel inside because they're small. But as things start to get bigger, the holes become pretty visible, don't they? And that's what it feels like. Until the holes get so big that you can't help but show how hurt you are by bullying. Some of the consequences are sometimes people get stomach aches. You know, maybe you'll have weight gain or weight loss, headaches, sleeping difficulty. Maybe your grades don't start to do too well. Maybe you start to dabble in drugs and alcohol to make yourself feel better from what everybody else is telling you. Maybe you start to get angry at other people. You start to lash out because people aren't treating you nice. They're saying things about you, and so you turn around and do it back to them. Maybe you start to feel sad and thoughts of suicide, or feel homicidal. Maybe you start to feel sad. You get a higher rate of depression. You have a low self-esteem. Don't feel good about yourself anymore. You start to separate yourself. You tend to go by yourself a lot. You tend to alienate yourself from everybody else. And so therefore you have fewer friends. You start to become fearful, withdrawn, angry, vengeful, and insecure about yourself. These are a few things that happen to people who are bullied.
Why others let bullying happen? They want to side with the bully because it makes them feel strong. If somebody else is bullying them, you feel strong standing next to them. They're afraid if they say something, the bully will turn on them. Nobody wants the bully to turn on you. It's much better if it's on the other person, right? It's kind of how we feel. That's why we don't ever stand up and say anything. They don't think speaking up will help. Sometimes you say, what can I do? I'm just Detective Conaughty. What can I do, you know? So they don't think that speaking up is actually going to do anything or help anything. They may be entertained by bullying. They may think it's funny. You guys think it's funny when somebody's being bullied?
Nope.
No. To stop bullying, things to do. You can ignore the bully.
You can pretend you didn't hear them.
You can just turn and walk away.
Don't cheer on for a fight. That's something.
You can go somewhere an adult is present and talk to them.
Do say something to the bully, but do not get angry. Like, stop bullying. This hurts their feelings.
Tell an adult or someone you trust.
It is not tattling to protect your right to not be bullied. It is courageous. The bully wants you to be quiet. It's what empowers them.
Things to say. You can either leave him or her alone.
Stop. That's rude.
That's not funny.
And I'm telling an adult.
It's all stuff that we kind of say on a daily basis anyway, so it's just easy when you see somebody's being bullied, just stand up for them. Ways to stop being a bully. So if you are a bully, this is how you can kind of stop yourself from doing that. You can apologize to the people you have bullied. Unfortunately, it still leaves holes, but at least it'll keep you from putting more holes into other people. You can follow it up by being friendly. Show them that you really want to change and that you really want to be a friend with them instead of continuing bullying. If you are having trouble expressing your feelings, especially anger, talk to a counselor or parent. A lot of times the reason why we bully is because we're angry inside. We feel all this anger, and the only way we let it out is through making ourselves feel good by bullying people. So if we can take that and talk to an adult, and we can release it that way rather than through bullying. Direct bullying can be, and we've already kind of gone over this, so this is some of the things that we've already talked about. It's just going back over kind of like a review. Physical violence such as hitting, kicking, shoving, spitting, taunting, teasing, racial slurs, sexual, religious, or verbal harassment, threatening, obscene gestures, theft, destruction of property, and stalking.
Bullying is a crime. Stalking, battery, assault. Anybody know what battery is? What's battery?
When you hit someone
Yeah.
physically harm them.
Yeah, you physically touch or strike somebody against their will with the intent to hurt them. Anybody know what assault is? Yes, sir.
It's like when you insult somebody or threat, give them a threat.
Yeah, when you verbalize a physical threat.
Florida State statute does say that there's an information on the Jeffrey Johnson Act, which is stand up for all students. The school districts have to stand up for all students. If you let them know and let them be notified that there is bullying going on, or somebody, whether it's another student or whether it's an adult or another teacher and they're bullying you, once the school board is notified, they have to stand up for you. Okay? It's called the Jeffrey Johnson Act, and it was from 2008.
And this form is just the form that kind of goes with that, that the school board provides for reporting purposes. Before I play this video, we've actually moved pretty good this time. Just to kind of preface it a little bit, give you a little. This video it comes from a Dr. Seuss kind of book. Anybody here like Dr. Seuss? Your name's in Anna, anyway. Well, the video talks. It speaks to you about how unique you are. And it speaks about how you need to stay true to who you are, regardless of what people say, what people think about you, because you are unique and there is no one like you. There will never be another person on the face of this earth like you. Just like a snowflake, right? You've all heard two snowflakes, there are no alike, right? Yes? Nobody, has anybody not ever heard that before? Right? Two, yep. Totally different. And so watch this video. And listen, this is from a teenage girl who made this video, and it's about staying true to you.
Judgment, the forming of an opinion, an estimate, notion, or conclusion. Words that can tear you down or tear you apart. Judgment. 9 letters, 9 meanings. Jealousy. Slander with hate because someone envies you for your looks or maybe your money. Unbearable. You tell yourself these things aren't true, but at the end of the day, these comments still hurt you. Doubt. You start to believe these comments because you have nothing to hold on to. Guarded. You start to protect yourself, put up walls to keep out the negative influences. Enough. You can't take it, you start to give up. Miserable. You struggle to hold up the burdens that have been placed upon you. Everlasting. You live with these remarks forever, no matter how hard you try to push them out of your head. Neglect. You abandon what you love because you feel unworthy. Tolerant. You begin to accept the comments and believe them yourself. Judgment. Never believe jealousy. Never let it become unbearable. Never doubt yourself. Never stay guarded. Never say enough. Never become miserable. Never let it consume you. Never neglect what you love. Never become tolerant. Because in the end, you are you. That is truer than true. There is no one alive who is youer than you. Stay golden, stay you. XOXO, Michelle. Inspired by the wise words of Dr. Seuss. You are you, that is truer than true. There is no one alive who is youer than you.
Dang, that's kind of sad.
I think sometimes we forget that as we look around the room, we all are pretty similar. Right? We all got to come to school, right? Or we all get to come to school. We all get to learn, right? We all go through ups and downs in our lives, right? Sometimes they're high, sometimes they're low, but we're all the same. And sometimes we forget that because sometimes we think that sometimes we're better than other people, or that other people deserve less than us. So we kind of have to remember that there's only one you, and that you're special. And so is the person to your left, and the person to your right, and the person behind and in front of you. So that's what this is about. That's why we're here. We're here to talk about bullying. We're here to answer some of your questions, which you guys have given us already, and we're gonna do that. And then if we have some time, we'll take some questions if some of you have some questions. Go ahead.
All right. What should you do if someone is making fun of you on social media?
What you should do if somebody is making fun of you on social media? You going to answer that question? Go ahead.
Tell the internet provider or an adult. Someone who can do it.
Absolutely.
Were you in our last class? You were?
Were you
in
here?
our last class? Oh, that's exactly what we were going to tell you. Yeah, you're smart.
Yep, that's exactly right. I mean, you can, like I said before, on Facebook, or you can unlike somebody, on Facebook. You can also, I guess, unlike them and like too. But really, if somebody's on social media or via text messaging or email, if somebody's harassing you or somebody's bullying you, cyberbullying you, just distance yourself, disconnect from that person. Even if that means you have to say goodbye to your Facebook for a while. I mean, I know, I saw faces and jaws drop, I'm sorry, but I mean, if things become extreme, sometimes you gotta make tough choices, and that's a tough choice.
This one kind of goes along with that question. It says, how do you respond to the person? If somebody is being mean to you or somebody's sending you nasty messages or messages that are really mean, don't respond back. Just ignore it and pretend that it never happened. And like you said, go ahead and block that person because that's not somebody that you want around you. If somebody's being mean to you and saying rude things, you don't want to entertain that at all.
You want me to run? What should I do if they threaten me or my family? Go ahead, sir.
Call a cop.
Call the police? Absolutely. Sure, that's a good choice. If somebody's threatening you, especially if they know where you live, or know how to get a hold of you, or where maybe you go to school, if somebody's threatening you or your family, that's an excellent decision, is to call the police. Because sometimes we may think that people are just kidding, but sometimes they aren't. And so contacting the police would be a good choice. Contacting an adult, or an adult you trust, or your parents or grandparents, also, and letting them know is a great choice also.
You're going to notice a common theme when we start answering these questions. Our biggest thing is you're going to stand up and you're going to speak out. Okay, that's why we have this on here. You're going to stand up, you're going to say, this isn't what I want, this isn't what I need to do. You're going to speak out, you're going to tell an adult, you're going to tell somebody at school, like a principal or a teacher, somebody that you trust, somebody that's an adult that you trust. Whether it even be your friend's parents that you're really close with, or grandparents. You're going to stand up and you're going to speak out and tell them what's going on, okay? Another question is any picture you put out there really gone? I'm assuming you guys are talking about on the internet, right? Whatever you put on the internet stays there. Whether you delete it or not, it's still going to be there. Somehow, some way, through technology and stuff, we can retrieve it. So make sure whatever you put out there is going to be appropriate. If you can't show your grandma, probably don't put it out there, okay? If it's not something you want your grandma or your mom or whoever's really close to you and they wouldn't be proud of you for putting it out there, don't put it out there.
I just have one more.
You got one more?
I do. What should I do if someone is online talking about hurting themselves? Anybody? Yes, ma'am?
Well, you should try to help them and try to talk them out of it. So that way, this is something that is somebody that's so great about them.
That's good.
Well, sometimes that might just get them like even more sad because they maybe like deny it. And I think the right thing to do is just go to somebody, an adult, immediately because you don't know if you might see something that might offend them by accident.
Those very good answers. Very good.
Should you ever ignore it?
No.
No, definitely always tell somebody, I like your word, you said immediately. Definitely do it right away. Don't wait a couple of days, don't wait, a week or even a day later. As soon as you see something, let somebody know right away. When a website asks for your age, should you lie about your age?
No. I mean,
Website is asking for your age, and I'm taking a general stab at this. Okay, they're most likely verifying your age that you're old enough for the content of that website. How old do you got to be on Facebook?
13.
13? I don't know. I really don't know. I'm asking. Sorry.
And how many of you are 13? And how many of you are on Facebook?
Ain't no hint. Oh, okay. All right. Let's see. Let's Here's the thing.
Guys?
All right. I'm not going to report you to Facebook. It's okay. All right. But on a more serious note, Facebook, great social media. You need to be careful about, who you're talking to, who you're friending, who can see your pictures, see where you go in your normal activity. Because there are people out there who do prey on people. Okay, students and adults alike. And so a lot of times the reasons that web page designers and so on have these age verification. You have to be this age to be able to view the content and participate in this media, is for those purposes. It's to protect you, protect students, to protect people from becoming victims of predators. And so I'm going to say this because it's the type of language I use in my house with my child. It's all about making good choices. Everything's about making good choices. You know, whether it's doing your homework or, you know, going to sleep when you're supposed to, you know, or, you know, being online searching the things you're supposed to. It's all about good choices from now until you take your last breath. It's about good choices in life. You make good choices, good things usually happen. Not always, but most likely good things happen.
This one comes with two questions. Why would people want to sabotage your online profile? And what do you do when they spread fake rumors on the internet? People want to sabotage things all the time. They do it because if they bring you down, guess what? They feel better about themselves. That's probably not really how it should work though, right? We should all try to be positive and build each other up rather than trying to tear each other down. And what do you do when they spread fake rumors on the internet? We've talked about it a little bit earlier. Just block that person. I mean, you can't help what other people say, but you also don't need to sit back and do nothing about it. You can stand up and speak out. Talk to somebody, tell somebody, and block that friend from your profile or block that person, unfriend them. Okay? Ready for the next one?
I think so.
We have this.
Okay.
What do you do when they ask for your address? And the other one we've already talked about was threatening your family.
When service providers or websites or?
I don't know who wrote this question, but I'm assuming you guys are talking about when somebody, maybe like a friend or somebody else is asking for your address, or maybe somebody that you just friend requested and you're not really sure who they are and they're asking for your address. I'm assuming that's where we're going with this.
It's, okay, go ahead.
So let's just say you didn't know the person, you kind of walk them or tell them about it.
It's never a good idea to give anybody you don't know personal information. Your phone number, your address,
What school you go to?
anything that's personal, you know. It's, again, there are people out there who have poor intentions, that do not have best intentions for others. And so as just a good choice, you know, don't put that type of information out there.
Well, like sometimes for me, whenever like a random person that I don't know, like just follow me on Instagram or something like that, I never accept them because like you don't know who they could be.
You don't.
Did everybody hear her? Nope. Yeah. She said whenever somebody, like a random person, she's not sure who they are, request her on Instagram, she doesn't accept it because she doesn't know who they are. And that's very, very smart. Because you never know who's out there, you never know who's actually behind that profile. You got a pocket full of questions?
No, I was just making sure my time was okay.
Okay. We good on that?
Yeah, we got 10 minutes.
Okay. What should you do if someone sends you a mean email, and how do we stop cyberbullying?
Go back.
Well, if somebody sends you a mean email, you should probably block them or tell an adult so they can do something about it, and then tell the website provider, and then we can stop cyberbullying by not doing it all. Like try your best not to make sure you're not doing it, and then report it if you see somebody else getting cyberbullying.
Did you guys hear her? She said that if you send a mean email or you receive a mean email, stand up and say something to a parent, don't respond back. And she also said to stop cyberbullying is don't be a cyberbully yourself. And if somebody is cyberbullying, stand up and say something, tell the internet provider, tell somebody, a parent or somebody like that. So then that way it can get taken care of. So again, it keeps coming back to stand up and speak out. Is it hard? Yeah. Stand up, speak out.
Any more, or is that?
3 more.
3 more, okay. Well,
What should I-
we'll get to you.
Oh, we got it. What should I do if someone says something online about a fight at a school? Does anybody want to take it
Go ahead.
back there? No, you had it.
You're right.
You just learned. Oh.
Yep. No, you got your hand up, go ahead.
No.
Okay.
Just like, okay.
Anybody else want to take a shot?
Because you should just kind of ignore them because people are always watching like the internet, and the owners of the internet or Instagram, whatever, they could always go on the computer and look and social things. So like if you talk about fight at school, other people could see you and say, oh, you sent this mom.
And so should you tell anybody?
Well, if it's not any of your business, no.
You think maybe you should tell an adult if there's going to be a fight at school, maybe a teacher? Or...
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, if you see that somebody's gonna fight at school, let your teachers know, let a parent know, that way we can stop it. If we don't know about it and it's gonna happen, then we can't do anything about it until after it's already happened, and somebody may or may not get hurt during that fight. So if we have a heads up on it, we'll be able to stop it before it even starts, okay? What are the consequences if someone is found guilty of cyberbullying?
If somebody is found guilty of cyberbullying, well, there are legal ramifications, meaning that you could be charged with a crime. We had, and you're thinking, wow, but I'm a student, well, I'm not gonna go to jail or anything. Anybody know recently that has happened in the news with regards to schools and?
My
I'm sorry, go ahead.
in my sister's school, this kid was getting somebody to tweeting to somebody to send the anonymously sending bomb threats to their school, so he kept on having to skip class.
Yeah.
And then he got caught, and I think he's in jail.
Okay. That's right. So, where do you think there was a student in Canada who was sending messages to schools of bombs in schools? What do you think happened to that student? He got arrested. Absolutely. So, do students get arrested for crimes?
Yes.
Yes. Is cyberbullying a crime?
Yes.
Can you be arrested for cyberbullying?
Yes.
Here we go.
You answered my next question.
Oh, okay. We have about a few minutes. Real quick before we go on, there are some resources we want to make you aware of. The Speak Out hotline. I think are there signs around the school? Oh, there's one right over there. Look at there.
Every school, you guys, every school.
There it is. Every school. Speak Out. There's a hotline that you can contact if you observe bullying or even being bullied. There's all kinds of, even on Facebook. All right. Stop bullying. Speak up. Suicide prevention lifeline. If you were struggling with being bullied, and you're having some sad thoughts, and you need to talk to somebody, I always want to encourage you to talk to an adult that can help you. Always don't just talk to an adult. Talk to somebody who can help you. Somebody you trust. Talk to a teacher, a guidance counselor, a police officer. Somebody that you trust that can help you. Always a good decision. All right, we'll take a couple of questions if you have some in regards to bullying. Yes, sir.
For cyberbullying, do you only get thrown in jail if it's like a big?
What do you consider big, Omar?
I don't know, like.
I'll put it to you this way. Everybody who commits a crime is subject to potentially go to jail.
Yeah, I know, but like, let's just say they did a little thing on like cyberbullying, like you're ugly or something like that, and they do it constantly. Would they get thrown in jail?
Well, we can talk about what harassment is.
There is harassment, and also once the school is made aware too, they have steps that they have to take in order to ensure that that gets stopped as well. So not only could you get in trouble with us, you could also get in trouble through the school level as well.
For example, if you're out in extended PE and you're preventing someone from joining into a game like basketball, soccer, and you're being continually telling someone you're not good enough to play, you can't play with us, that is considered a form of bullying. And if that's happening, and I just received an email reporting it in 6th grade, it needs to stop. So yes, be aware, don't let people do that to you, stick up for your friends. Everyone has the right to be here at school feeling safe, wanting to be here, able to participate.
Think about it this way, if you were the one that was being told that you couldn't play, would you want that? So why would you take that away from anybody else and not let them play? it doesn't feel good, so it's just easier to say, hey, you know what, you can come and play. You may not be that great, but if you never try, you're never gonna get better.
I would like to add something to what you said. You said it's just a little thing. That's actually a big deal to somebody. Just because you think it's very, very minor to say one little thing, to that person, that could be a big deal. Because they may have heard that 2 or 3 other times too. So what you think might be little could be huge to somebody else.
You don't know which nail that is. You don't know how big that nail is at that point in their life, in someone's life. Get your
So if you did cyberbully someone, like, would you be going to, like, are the sentences like the same length, like as long as time, like 4 years and like 20 years, like how other people get it in jail?
Well, here's the thing. We don't get to say how long people go to jail or what happens after we arrest people. We just know that if a crime is committed, we arrest people, and then it's kind of out of our hands. But there's always the potential. So here's the thing. If we make good choices, and good choices means that we don't harass, we don't bully, we make good choices in choosing people who, to lift people up as opposed to bring them down, that's something we don't have to worry about, right? True?
Was there a question back here? I saw somebody with their hand up. Any more questions? No?
That's it, huh? Oh, right here.
That was a picture of her a long time ago. It was actually in the middle of summer, and that she was doing something with cyberbullying, and she was using like this
I believe I heard that story also. Everybody here? Yes. There was a young lady who posted a picture of herself in the middle of winter in a bathing suit. People were making comments and judgments, passing judgments upon her about the way she looked and making fun of her. And she was doing a research paper or doing some sort of story about the effects of bullying and how people act towards other people. So it's always a good choice to not tear people down. It's so easy to tear people down as opposed to bringing people up. And you want to make sure you surround yourself with people who do pick you up, who cheer you on, as opposed to bring you down. Do you really want to hang out with people or be around people who bring you down? Not rhetorical, you can answer that question. Do you? No. I don't. I don't want to be around people who bring me down. I want to be around people who bring out the best in me, who pick me up, lift me up, and cheer me on in the things that I want to accomplish in life. There's always going to be people in the world who are going to want to knock people down who are doing things that are good.
It comes back to the power of words, like I said, you guys, and you're all off in different directions next year. Some of you are going to schools that have 4 times the number of students that are here at West Melbourne. You're going to be swimming in a bigger pond. There are going to be a lot of people that don't know you. You're going to want to make good impressions. You're going to want to make friends that make a difference. So keep that in mind. Who do you want to hang around with? People that make you feel bad about yourself or people that make you feel good about yourself? So stay safe over the summer. How many of you have cell phones? Okay. Hands down. How many of you have computers in your room or other ways to get online, in the privacy of your room? Okay. Great. Thank you. All right. Listen carefully. I need to see some of you before you go to lunch, but your teachers are waiting. So whose class came in last? Fielder. Miss Fielder's class go out first.
Yes,